in Nigeria, we had a metro bus, all right, and I was pretty young and I really wanted to drive the metro bus. The question is, why did I want to drive a metro bus? I was a security guard. It wasn't even up to $1 a day I was being paid. I wasn't being paid up to $1 a day. It was so crazy.
Wow.
But I kind of figured that married men with 4 kids, how do these people survive? Because if what I'm earning cannot even take care of me, these guys, where are they making their money to take care of themselves, their wives and 4 or more kids? I said, I gotta do what these guys are doing. I said, okay, what are these guys doing? I said, they're driving the metro buses, doing other things. Well, there were most things I couldn't do because I didn't have what it took to do those things. But the metro bus, I said I'll do that one. At least I had a driver's license. I could go apply for more like a CDL or something like that. But over there, I didn't really have much experience in driving then. I didn't have much experience in driving, so I went for the metro bus, the training, so they had to test you before they start training you. Before they train you to drive a bus, they have to test you. So, one good thing was that I did a security job in that company as a security guard. All the trainers knew me. But the bad thing was that I couldn't drive a bus. Now, I couldn't even drive a regular car comfortably, not to talk of a bus, because they were all stick shift. They were stick shift vehicle. They weren't automatic vehicle. They were stick shift. So I applied the first time. I went there. I failed. Woefully, I had to go back home. And each time you failed, you have to wait for like 3 months to go back again. I would wait 3 months. I went there. I went there 7 times.
Wow.
7 times. Now you should check. That's more than a year. I kept going back 7 good times. I had failed to a point where they knew my face. They were like, you again. I was one of the first person who would apply. Once it's open and it's time to apply, I apply. I go back there. And while I was off, I spent some time to, practice. I didn't have access to a bus, but at least I could have access. I had access to smaller vehicles, so I used smaller vehicles. Man, I felt so stuck. Why? Because I spoke a lot about my new move to my fellow security guards. I told them about what I'm trying to do, and they were all looking at me like, "You crazy boy. Like, you young, you don't even have driving experience. What make you think you can start driving these big buses?" And they were much older than I was. They saw that I was putting the effort. They kept saying all sort of things to me. They don't just like the fact that I'm trying to move forward.
Yes.
And I guess that was one of the biggest challenge I faced was my co-workers.
Yeah.
They didn't like the fact that I was trying to move forward.
Yes. Crabs in the bucket.
Yeah, right.
You always find those.
Yeah, you're young. I mean, you still got time. We are older. We are doing the security job. We're managing, and you trying to do better.
Yeah.
But the 7th time, I don't know what happened the 7th time. Maybe I acquired a little bit more experience, but the 2nd time, each time I went there, it was a learning opportunity for me. So when I go there, I start the bus, I engage in the first gear. The moment I try to transition to the 2nd gear, the bus usually trip off. So each time I went back, I kept learning how to move from 1 gear to the 2nd gear, right with that bus. I'd fail. They would send me back home. The next time I come, now I'll correct what I failed last time. You're supposed to move it quickly. Don't take off your leg off the clutch.
Yeah.
Move it. All right. So I'll move it, but the problem now is to move to gear 2. And then I fail. I go back, put in my head, gear 2. And I actually have a friend who actually was driving the bus. So I'll beg him when he's on the strip, please pick me up somewhere, man. Pick me up somewhere. Even let me just try. Let me just pull 1 gear. He would hesitate. It's against the company's code and everything, but he would pick me up. And I did it. I did it. I kept failing, but each time I went back for the test, I passed that stage. Until when I got to the 6th gear, and all it had was a 6th gear. I failed the 6th gear, but when I came back for the 7th test, I could go to the 6th gear, and that was how I passed it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Incredible.
it was. Yeah, so 3 months is a long time. 3 months is a long time for you to forget what you learned.
Yes, it took you almost more than 18 months, close to 2 years.
2 years, right. 3 months is a long time to forget what you learn. So each time I learned one thing, I kept thinking about it. I dealt a lot with my imagination. I didn't let go of what I learned within that 3 months of how to move from one gear to the other gear. I kept it in my head. How to move it. Don't take it off the clutch. You're supposed to go this way. Keep it that way. I kept doing it. Even when I didn't have a chance to try my friend buses, I kept doing it. So I kept passing those stages, and I got to the 7th point. I passed it. Congratulations. I got unemployment. Okay, I got an acceptance letter now to go into the training. Now they have to train you how to use the bus, how to move, how to stop, where to go, where to pick. Later on, and funny enough, the company wasn't really my main target. There was a bigger company that pays better, but I knew I could use this guy to learn.
Yes.
Yeah, the red buses. So we had the red buses and the blue buses. So I used the red buses one day, took me in, trained me. Then I was able to work with them for a little bit. I applied for the big buses. So it's been thinking about it now, I think about the experience. For 2 whole years, I was just, I kept doing the work I hated. I kept hanging around the people I didn't really want to hang out with. People kept talking down to me, highlighting all my mistakes at work. I liked my late coming because sometimes I'll get there late. Because in between, I was also in a web development school. At the same time, I was also doing all this. So they come late. Got so kind, I got fired a week before the boss really employed me. A week, I got fired. Say, you've been coming late for too long. We can no longer accommodate this. We're letting you go. And do you know who was putting this whole schemes? My co-workers. They were putting the whole scheme to get me fired. I got fired, but fortunately for me, it was a week. It was narrow. That was narrow. It was a narrow escape. And thinking about this now, even while I was waiting for you to get here, I was thinking, what does it mean to get unstuck?
It takes a lot